congregation in Grand Rapids, Michigan was undergoing remodeling and had commissioned new mantles for their Torahs, and an advertisement appeared in the rabbinic newsletter on the email, indicating that the mantles were available for postage. It was easy enough to shell out the postage and prevent the mantles from being buried in a geniza. So they arrived, and there was my challenge about what happens when the mantles come out of the closet, essentially. Okay, so entering is really the dedication of the exhibit to Jack's memory. The thought came to me of light and growth. That's the motif. Light and growth after a year of mourning. So the light is the broken bulb, because the light is different now. And the growth is a stubborn tree that comes out of a nest, grows out of a nest. So these are the collage of photographs taken by my daughter-in-law. Even though most of the pictures are duplicated, the juxtaposition of one to the other is different. And of course, that's what Midrash is about, the juxtaposition of things. It works well, I think, with the together with the sculpture as a welcoming, as an opening to the whole purpose of the exhibition, which is about Torah. And that was my husband's thing, in a very intellectual way, an academic way. And what I've done is added the experiential mode to that. I have a great-grandchild in Jerusalem, and he loves pushing the carriages, the doll carriages, and it was not difficult for me to put the mantle on the doll carriage and think of not only mipi olalim v'yom kim, out of the mouths of babes, whatever babes tell us, but what we have to give the children. And alongside them is the maternal. I call this the blessing of breasts and womb. And so there's a mother here whose delicate collar around a mantle indicates the feminine, and the nest with the egg, so to speak, the womb. Above this is an envelope. I'm sure you've all gotten envelopes like this. If undeliverable, return to sender. That just spoke to me about Matan Torah. What if the Torah is undeliverable? What if we're not around to get it? Can we send it back? In our tradition, we don't say receiving the Torah, we call it Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. Why? Because you might not be around to get it. You might be out to lunch. These are women behind the mechitza, dancing on Simchat Torah. They're having a good time. You can see the wigs, the hair is flying, and they're dancing so vigorously that this shoe has fallen off. Being chosen means choosing. This Torah is strapped to the frame, and there are a bunch of little notes clipped to it. To do, to do, to do. Being chosen is to do, or maybe not to do. This is a play on words. Invested in Torah. Very hard to translate. And in this one, there's also another play on words. We call it Mayim Chayim, living water. And the mantle is inside a huge vessel for delivering purified water. But there's a handle on it, so it can travel. And so the play on words here is that it's potable and portable, drinkable and carryable. Safety pins, rows and rows of safety pins, safety in Torah. And the verse that I chose is Vayanchem levetach v'lo pachadu. He led them safely, so they were not afraid, from Psalm 78. Is Torah being manipulated? I call it divine providence. The Torah received by each succeeding generation, received and dealt with in some way. Torah is used, Torah is sometimes abused. This is one of my favorites and it was fun. I call the exhibit Hafochba, turn it over and overturn it. So this mantle has been turned over and overturned, and it is packed with architects' building plans. I thought the best name for this would be Midrash, because Midrash grows out of Torah. It's inserted in the Torah and grows out of the Torah. This is a painful one. You see the Star of David in the body of the mantle is distorted, a troubled icon. Troubled because of the image that we're projecting in the world today by behavior unbecoming a Jew. The cover of this mantle dates back to the early years of our marriage when we lived in Richmond, Virginia, and Jacob was a rabbi there. And Shevel's was the place where he got his clothing. And we have in this the mantle which says, easy fit, should have a question mark. Can we say one size fits all? I don't think so. Put it on. Does it need an alteration? Check it out. Maybe it does need an alteration. One size can't fit all. This mantle is in bloom. The colors on it seem to invite the fruit. And so we call it, those who love her will enjoy her fruit. This is best seen from the top. There's a key here and a keyhole. A locked garden is my sister, my bride. Gan na'ul achoti kala. As one size does not fit all, so Torah does not reveal herself easily to anyone or to everyone. This is called Midat Hadin and Midat HaRachamim. The two qualities of God are justice and compassion. And justice is illustrated in the mantle by lions, the tablets, the pair of rampant lions and the tablets in the center, tough, judging God. Whereas this delicate lace is the compassion. And the two have to work together. Neither one is independent without the other. There's hope for a tree. If it is cut down, that it will sprout again and its tender branches will not cease. It's a verse from Job, the same verse we put on Jacob's tomb, his gravestone. This box, this frame, was made by workers in Egypt when lulavim were exported from Egypt to Israel for Sukkot years ago when they were shipped. I found them in Mea Shearim, trashed after the holiday. This is too beautiful a structure, as primitive as it is, to become firewood. There's a Talmudic reference about Rabbi Hananiah ben Tradion, who was burnt at the stake by the Romans. The story is that he was wrapped in the scroll, which was wet with cotton, so that it would be harder for it to be destroyed by the flames and cause greater suffering. And in his dying breath, he cried out, "The parchment is burning, but the letters are taking flight." And that's what I illustrated here. These are the naked Atzei Chaim without the scrolls of the Torah. And the letters affixed to it on the top of an old leather suitcase. The letters are part of some computer structure that I found in an abandoned lot. These are part of the mantle, the fringes on the luchot, placed on other trees so that the tree of life and the trees become counterparts to each other. These are not mantles, they're tallis and tefillin bags from who knows how many generations of synagogue goers. But if you look at them, you can almost imagine who's carrying such a bag. Well-groomed, prosperous, poor, modest, all the way down to the plastic bag. These are radiation treatment masks. The patient who needs to have radiation in his head or neck gets a mask that's fitted to his/her face. And when she comes for treatment, she lies down on the table, and the mask, which has a frame, is screwed into the table. The mask is marked where the treatment has to go. Zip! And it's over.
Have you been through that?
No, Jacob. Jacob went through that because he had a melanoma removed from his lower jaw. So I call them cherubim because they face each other like the guardians of the ark, and also look upward. My son Asher suggested an accompanying verse. He liked Panecha Adonai Avakesh, Et Panecha Adonai Avakesh. I seek your face, Lord, from Psalm 27. There's a view from the window of the old city. All of these trappings come from the old city. The embroidery, the curtain fabric, the cypress, the kever rachel, all affixed to a printed manuscript which looks out on the old city. This is a theme that obsesses me. It's lech lecha, go forth, which really means go out as you go in. The two words are not taken as a unit, but they're meant to be understood separately, that the lech is go out and the lecha is go in. So it's constituted here of an X-ray and a bicycle chain. So the bicycle chain says, go out, and the X-ray says, go in. Here's another one of those lulav frames. Something about the computer paper. I had a pile of computer paper which was shaven off, leaving the edges. It was irresistible to me. And pinned onto this thing, if you have a fan, you get the dancing bride. The Exodus story speaks about the angel of death, and I found the wing on the pavement. It spoke to me of the death of the angel of death, so that we sprayed this curtain with a wing, placing the blood on the doorpost, and I call it the death of the angel of death. Moses did not know that the skin of his face beamed when he came down with the second set of tablets. Frequently, the verse is misinterpreted, Yadaki Karan or Panav, as that he got horns, as Keren is both a beam of light and a horn. So the double meaning of the word creates the kind of ambiguity artists love, but Moses with horns is not anywhere near as appetizing as Moses with rays of light. Yerushalayim Shel Ma'ala, the heavenly Jerusalem, and the earthly Jerusalem. Now, originally I had it upside down, and I thought, well, that's ridiculous. It's the heavenly Jerusalem that's the mystery. So that should be on top. The heavenly Jerusalem was just a piece of lumber that I found, and I was, you know, I'm always intrigued by these chance, jagged edges that, unplanned. We have a print at home by the artist Eduardo Chillida, Chillida, who's a Basque artist. And this hand, this gesture, I don't know if this guy is a Jew, but he's making Havdalah. So I affixed the spices and the wine and this candle, which belonged to my father-in-law, and we've never used it because I didn't know how I could braid another one. Affix that to the Chillida print and call it Chillida Makes Havdalah. This is a moonrise, broken glass and again jagged edges of a piece of scrap wood and hands in prayer, reflecting into the heavens. Down below, do you see that? You have this round image there. The mirror here and the painting behind it, all involved in this moonrise, which just happened out of broken glass. It's hard for me to throw out broken glass, particularly if it has pattern and color in it. Traveler's Prayer. The suitcase top, cover, and a torn up talit katan. What kind of a journey it addresses? The viewer decides that. This uniform was thrown out. It's a uniform, I believe, of the Golani, and it's very old because they're no longer made of this fabric in this way. But the empty hangers in my husband's closet and the uniform speak to me about sacrifice and loss. It's a violin case, perhaps coming out of the grave. Kol hanshama tahalil. Every breath praises God. I suppose it's actually a fitting conclusion to the exhibition, which began with a memorial to my husband and with the hands cradling light and growth after a year of mourning. What does it want to say to you? It wants to say, to speak. In the closet, it's silenced. What can it say now? If Judaism is to develop and continue, Jews need to dialogue with the Torah. Not only the interior part of the Torah, but what its dress on the outside, which addresses us.
I think it's one of the exhibitions, if not the exhibition, that had most reactions, that people reacted to. That's the best thing about it, that people reacted to it. That meant that this art, or Joe's art, does something to them. It moves them. It makes them react. She's a brave artist. She's very loyal to herself and to her ideas and to her beliefs. Every person that is interested in art should see Joe's work, because it's unique, it's different, and I think that it's really worth exhibiting it all over the States, because it gives new meaning to Judaism and to Jewish art.